Welcome back. Now, budget presentation process in Kenya has drastically changed from what it initially used to be. Up next is Duncan Haimba with the digest on the evolution of budget reading process in Kenya from yesteryears to the new world order. Take a look.
They say change is the only constant thing in nature and that change is inevitable. In matters economy, a lot has changed in Kenya's budget reading process and presentation. From Mwai Kibaki, the late Professor George Saitoti, Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi, Francis Yekoyada Masahalia, Simeon Nyachae, the late David Muraria, Amos Kimunya, Uhuru Kenyatta, Tunjeru Githae as finance ministers, and now Henry Rotich, a lot has changed. For the first 50 years in Kenya, the preparation, vote-head allocation, and eventually presentation of budget was a ritual meticulously undertaken in almost total secrecy.
The routine was that you leave State House, where cabinet meetings were held, after you have presented the details of your budget proposals to cabinet, so that they endorse it. And the philosophy here is that you present it just hours, and then from there you go straight to Parliament, because you never wanted leakages to take place about what the content of your budget really is. And then from there you drive from Treasury to Parliament. So that routine was there.
That has since changed. Under the current constitution, there is provision for public participation. So much earlier, Treasury announces the budget policy statement for the incoming financial year, and the official presentation is a formality.
One of the things that you would do is always read. And I would always have to read, because you must be sure that what is there is correct, the communication is correct, because a statement that completely runs contrary to what you have agreed can have very serious implications, particularly on matters of finance and budget. Yes. So this was a very grueling exercise, if I may put it that way.
Another conspicuous change is that a sitting head of state and government no longer attends the session. Instead, the cabinet secretary in charge of Treasury presents his budget before the National Assembly, which transforms to the Committee of the Whole House, which is the stage at which amendments are made and is chaired by the Speaker. In 1997, opposition members of parliament then nearly succeeded in scuttling Musalia Mudavadi's budget reading when they caused chaos in parliament. They were agitating for constitutional reforms and had found a perfect opportunity, but their efforts hit a snag. For the government, the scare forced another change in the budget process after the opposition attempted to snatch Musalia's speech.
So you would make sure that they have an extra speech in their pockets, so that in the event that there is ever fracas again and somebody disappears with the other one, you just pull out your second one and you continue reading. These are the lessons. And it is that year that we also learned that if they can't stop you in the house, they can stop you outside. So the movement from Treasury to Parliament, that is now when the tradition of escorting the Minister for Finance to Parliament started. Because before, you didn't need to have a motorcade or outriders, or even the police escorting you to Parliament before you present the budget. It used to be normal. But then it also occurred to us that what they can do in Parliament can be dealt with standing orders. But out there, if they decided to hijack a finance minister or block him from leaving his office, then you would be in breach of the Constitution, because to present the budget is a constitutional provision. So if somebody wanted to be nasty, they can block you, and you'll fail to meet your constitutional provision, and hence the tradition now of escorting a Minister for Finance to present his budget. So it started after my episodes in Parliament.
As things change in the style of presentation of the budget, perhaps the only thing that remains constant is that display of the famous budget briefcase before it makes its way to Parliament. Duncan Hemba, KTN News, Treasury.